Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Everybody, we are going to have discussion on competencies in transport. Let me share that. Okay. What is the meaning of competencies? Arshad, what is competency? You don't know. Okay. Jelita, what is competency? Alicia, sorry, Alicia. What is competency? In Bahasa Indonesia, we have the similar word, right? Competency. But in English, we have competency. Yeah. Competency. And then when we are talking about people who has the competency, that means competent. Let's see the definition according to Oxford. Yeah. According to Oxford Dictionary, we have the word competent, that is noun. Yeah. Okay. You pronounce it competence. Yeah. Okay, Alicia, read the meaning. Efficiently. Yeah. The ability to do something successfully or efficiently. That is competency. Competency. Yeah. The synonym. The synonym. Yeah, Alicia. The synonym is capability, ability, competency, capacity, and proficiency. These are all the synonyms for competence. Yeah. Okay, this is the illustration for the competence. Experience, knowledge, quality, they are all related to competence. Okay, skill, yeah, they are all related to competence. We continue. Now we come to the translator competencies. Based on my experience, I classify 3 competencies for a translator. Yeah. So when you are translating something, you need these competencies. Melanie, could you read the 3 competencies? What is number 1? Language. What does it mean? Okay, so the focus of language competency is the ability to use your grammar knowledge, your grammar mastery, and your mastering, sorry, your writing skill. Okay, we are going to discuss about that in detail. Next one, please, Melanie. The second competency, general knowledge. What does it mean? So the focus of general knowledge competency is how you are able to use information from any sources. Okay. What kind of information? The information about, yeah, the source text. For example, you are translating economy document. You don't know anything about economy, but You get information from many sources, Google, books, blah, blah, blah. And then you get knowledge about that. That is general knowledge, okay? The next one, the last one, translating theory competency. What is that? Yeah, the key or the focus of translating theory competency is how you are familiar with many different strategies, yeah, and you know what to use to choose, yeah, yeah, from those all strategies. Why again? Because we want to have the ideal process. We want to do the translating quickly, and we want to do the translating accurately. If you don't know the strategies, that means your translating theory is low. That doesn't help you. But if you know, yeah, at least you remember, oh, if this is the problem, I use modulation technique or strategy, for example. So that is translating theory. Any question? Okay, again, if you read other translation books, I believe you may find different competencies, but this is based on my experience. So we repeat again. How do you become a good translator? At least you have 3 competencies. Number 1, language competency. Number 2, general knowledge competency. And then the last one is theory about translation. When you know grammar well, you can do your translation better. When you know how to write, yeah, effectively, your translation will be good. Okay. General knowledge. Of course, everybody is not perfect. You don't know anything about astronomy, for example. But you can cope that problem by reading many texts about astronomy. You go to the library, you do the Google searching, you can ask the experts of the astronomy, and then you get enough knowledge for your translation. That is what we call competency. And then the last one is translating theory. The more you know about translating theory, the more you know about the strategy, the quicker you can finish your translation, the more accurate you have your translation. Okay? Since we don't have any discussion, now we go on to the next slide. I am quoting the expert. The name is Albrecht Newbert. Albrecht Newbert. Okay? What does Albrecht Newbert say? Hansa, could you read? Hansa, read. You don't smile, but read. Okay. Albrecht Newbert describes as 5 parameters or sub-competencies of translation competence. Number 1, language competence. Number 2, textual competence. Number 3, subject competence. Number 4, cultural competence. And number 5, transfer competence. Thank you, Hansa. You really need to practice reading a lot, yeah, and loud. You need to read aloud, a lot, and then you need to read loudly, more loudly, okay? Don't be shy. Okay. We are not going to discuss these 5 competencies, yeah, but this is only for your knowledge, yeah. I again believe that you may find different opinion from other sources, yeah. This is taken from the book that I have in PDF, yeah, not in the real, yeah. I downloaded from somewhere and then I got this, yeah. And then the book is exactly talking about the competencies, yeah. Okay, I repeat again. Albert Newbert has 5 competencies for a translator. The first one is language competence, the same with mine, yeah. Okay, I give you only 3, but here we have 5. Language competence, that is number 1. Number 2 is textual competence. I think that is related to content of the text. Okay, and I think that goes to the general knowledge that we discussed. Yeah, subject competence, that is also something that you can relate to the general knowledge. Yeah, we discussed previously. Cultural competence. Yeah, that is how you try to bridge the differences of culture between the source text and the target text. Of course, for example, Indonesian culture is totally different with the English or England or American. How do you bridge the 2 cultures? So that is the competence. According to Albrecht Newbert, that is very important. Okay. And then the last one is transfer competence. Transfer competence is about the ability you write. Yeah, the ability of how you write source text and how the ability you write the target text. Yeah. Okay. We are not going to discuss about these 5 because basically they are the same. Okay. So Nala, before we continue to the next slide, is transfer competence something about transferring money in your bank? No, yeah. So transfer competence means the ability of you write the target text. Okay. Now, Nala, could you read the next one? Yeah. Okay. When talking about language competencies, as we learned previously, there are 2 focuses. How many focuses, Nala? How many? There are 2 focuses. How many? The first one is grammar. Okay, and the second one is writing ability. Okay, clear, Nala? Now, when talking about grammar, what is that? They are about tenses, and they are about part of speech. Mostly, yeah, mostly. In English, everybody understand, people say there are 24 tenses. Okay. But in Indonesia, no, we don't have that many tenses as English. Indonesian people say, saya makan semalam, saya makan besok, saya makan hari ini. They are the same. Okay, but English they have 3 different tenses. Yeah, even 6. I ate last night. Okay, and then I had eaten the cake before someone came. You use past perfect. See? I am eating now. 3. And then I will eat tomorrow. 4. I will be eating the cake when the movie starts. Well, 5. And then you can say, I will have eaten the cake by the time you join the class. 6 tenses in English. That is very, very complicated, right? So the ability of grammar is important, yeah, when you are translating Indonesian into English. But when you are translating English into Indonesian, that is very simple. That is why people consider translating English into Indonesian is very easy. Yeah. Especially when talking or related to grammar. And then part of speech. Part of speech is talking about noun, verb, adjective, and verb. It is very easy for us to identify which one is verb, which one is noun, which one is adjective, which one is adverb, for example. Everything with ion, for example, substitution, completion, division. So those are all nouns. Yeah. So you say calculation means perhitungan. But calculation comes from the verb calculate. Menghitung. Do you agree, Nala? Okay. What about men? Everything with men is a noun. Management, development. What else? Statement. Yeah. Everything is with men. And that means we are talking about noun. So your knowledge about that will help you to make your translation better. Do you agree? Okay, that is part of speech. So mostly talking about grammar is talking about tenses and then part of speech. So if you want to be a good translator, make sure you are mastering those 2, yeah, tenses and then part of speech. And then the next focus is your writing ability. Do you know a concept of main idea? If you know the concept of main idea, that will help you understand the text better. Yeah. Do you know the concept of paragraph? What is paragraph? If you know the concept of paragraph better, you will easily understand when you are reading a very long paragraph. How do you learn? How do you get the idea of the paragraph? Very easy. You just read the first sentence of the paragraph. That is the main idea, where the main idea is. So if you know the concept of paragraph, that is going to be easy. And then when you rewrite in target text, you can also apply the concept of writing. That will help you. Okay? And then another thing is about vocabulary. The more you know the vocabulary, that will help you in finishing or completing your translation quickly and efficiently, or correctly, or accurately. Okay? So that's why a professional translator sometimes keeps many different kinds of vocabulary. They have a library, vocabulary. So no, I'm talking about dictionary. They have dictionary of economy. They have dictionary of biology, physics, astronomy, geography, if they can buy. Yeah. If they cannot buy, they download from anywhere in internet. That is the way how they improve their vocabulary. So those are the 2 focuses of competencies related to language. Okay. Any question? Okay. Now we go on to what is the next one? Yeah. What is the next one after language competency? General knowledge. What do you think we are going to discuss about general knowledge. Oh, yes, yes. Okay, so everything is related to context, yeah. Okay, anything else? No, okay. Mostly you are right. Now let's see. Okay, according to me, there are two focuses when we are talking about general knowledge competencies. Would you read, please, Alia? Yes. Everybody talking about general knowledge competencies are talking about the ability, how you understand the context. Context, yeah, is usually found in the paragraph. Paragraph can be classified into descriptive paragraph. So when you are talking about description, yeah, so you can understand the context. Yeah, what is the content of the paragraph? That means you understand the description. When you are reading a short story novel, for example, you understand the story, right? If you understand the story, that will give you better understanding in translating. Do you agree? Compare, if you don't know the story of Malin Kundang, do you feel that you can do the translation better? The answer is no, because you don't know the story of Malin Kundang. For example, a native come to you and then ask you, hey, I want to know the story about Malin Kundang. Do you know anything about that? And then you say, I don't know. So that will be different. If you say, I know that. Now I can tell you. So if you know the story, the better you are in doing translation. Okay. And then some paragraphs are a little bit difficult. That means you need to understand the analysis. Yeah, for example, the analysis of process, for example, the biology process of metamorphosis, the biology process of how our body absorb the sunlight, and then that is good for our body. That is a process, and then that needs analysis. If you don't understand the analysis, that will be a little bit problem for you to make a good translation. Okay. And now talking about general knowledge is also talking about terminologies. Terminologies is about vocabulary. Yeah. You read the text, astronomy, and then you don't know anything about, for example, black hole. What is that black hole? So if you don't know, and then you find by reading the book about astronomy, you do Googling, right? Or you meet Stephen Hawking, but he's in America, yeah, and he's dead already. Oh yeah, so you talk to the creator, yeah. No, no. So the more you know the terminology, the better. What is the difference between vocabulary and glossary? What is that? Do you know anything about glossary, Ayla? Okay, okay, yeah, very good, yeah. So is it on the list? Glossary, yeah, okay. So we can say glossary is the list of the word related to the text or usually found in the text. That usually follows the text. That is glossary. But vocabulary is random, yeah? Okay, that is the difference between vocabulary and glossary. And most important thing of vocabulary and glossary are meaning. You know the word, but you don't know the meaning. That is going to give you problem. Okay, that's why the meaning here doesn't mean the translation. But meaning is sometimes a description. For example, you have the text in Bahasa Indonesia, nasi, what's that? How do you say? Nasi tumpeng. How do you translate nasi tumpeng in English? You don't. Okay, how do you translate it? Yeah. So that means you are translating based on the description. So that is meaning. So meaning is not only about translation. Book, buku, that is translation. But book means something that you can read, something that you can write down. That is a book. That is meaning. Clear? That's why nasi tumpeng is not always tumpeng rice. Maybe yes, tumpeng rice, but the definition or the meaning of nasi tumpeng is something that Ayla said. Blah 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 blah. The corn rice cooked by what? Coconut oil, yeah. Okay, so that is the meaning. So everybody needs to understand the difference between translation and meaning. Okay. Any question? Okay. And now the last one. The last one, the last competence is what? Daniel, you remember? You forget. Language competence, that number 1. General knowledge competence, that is number 2. Now the last one? You don't remember. Okay. Okay. Don't worry, I'm not forcing. If you don't know, it is okay. Then the last competency we are talking is okay, would you read this? Yeah. Can you say anything about those two? Yes or no? If you don't know, you say, I'm very sorry, sir, I don't. No problem. Yeah. Because if you don't know, maybe your friend is casino. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Who is casino? Who is Indro? Yeah. Okay. Everybody, now look at this one. Talking about competencies about translation theory are talking about how you know the steps of translating. We discussed step of translating 2 weeks ago. Yeah. Daniel, do you remember what are the steps of translation? Or maybe what do you do when you translate something? What are the steps? This is a free question. Okay, maybe Daniel is still confused. Anybody? For example, I give you this text. Hi, I need your help. This is 1 page of text. Can you do me a favor? Help me translate this. What do you do? Yeah, Ayla. You okay because you are reading a paragraph. Okay. Or even in a sentence. Okay. I see. Yeah, yeah. Yes. Yes. This is very interesting. You mentioned about the audience, yeah. It means that you consider how the audiences are, yeah, because you want to try to make it appropriate, yeah, based on the audiences. Very good. So you do those steps. So if you don't know what to do, that is going to be a problem to you as a translator. Okay, that's why you need to make sure that you know what to do. The first one is blah blah blah. The second one is blah 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 until the last process. That is steps of translating. Yeah, and then the second focus is how you choose the strategy. Yeah, when you are not always uh, a fluent process when you are translating, right? Sometimes or mostly we have problem. Okay, so whenever you have a problem, you think about the strategy. Yeah, this is just like a war. Yeah, if you are a general of your troop, and then your troop says, General, we have a problem, blah, 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 blah. As a general, you sit down and then think about the strategy. That is what we call strategy. So in translating, that is the same. When you have a problem, for example, Mr., the text is about astronomy. I don't know anything about this one. There must be a strategy. The strategy, for example, oh, maybe you need to have the strategy borrowing. What is borrowing? Borrowing means that you just copy paste any terminology that you cannot translate. So that is what we call pure copy pasting. That is borrowing. It is okay because that is part of the strategy. Okay, Mister, I don't know anything about nasi tumpang. And then you say, oh, try to use the adaptation strategy. What is adaptation strategy? It means that you are trying to connect the two cultures in your own word. That is adaptation. Strategy is legal. It is okay. Yeah. But remember, maybe some other translators will use different strategy. Yeah. It is up to you. Okay. So the more you know the strategy, and then you know to choose the best strategy that will help you to do your translation better. Clear? Okay. Now we go on. We have another two more slides. Yeah, not conquer, two more. Yeah, two more. Okay. Hmm? Kevin, read. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, everybody, what are we discussing here? Our discussion is about what is the connection between the competencies and translating strategies. Yeah. For example, Kevin, you realize, for example, that you are good in grammar. Okay. Mister, my grammar is good. Okay. You see, my score in my grammar in every subject related to grammar is good, for example. So when you do the translation, you can use the following strategy. For example, modulation, literal translation, transposition, expansion, reduction. Because you are good in knowledge of grammar. Not only grammar, but part of speech. Okay. For example, transposition. Transposition is something about changing kalimat aktif into kalimat pasif, for example. That is, you cannot do the transposition if you are not good in grammar. Okay? Reduction. Reduction means that you don't use any word, you omit any word, yeah, in a phrase, for example. Yeah. It is okay as long as you don't change the meaning. That is reduction. Yeah. That is if you are good in language. Yeah. What about if you are good in general knowledge? For example, you are a person who always knows everything. Yeah. You are just like Kamus Berjalan. Yeah. Or you are just like Wikipedia. What kind of strategy that you can use? You can use compensation. You can use borrowing. You can use calculi, equivalence, adaptation. The one that I told you, nasi tumpang, you can use the adaptation strategy. Yeah, because you are good in your knowledge, general knowledge. Okay. So the point is that if you know your competencies, yeah, and you know the strategy, okay. If you don't know your competencies, or you know that your competencies are not in language, yeah, you can use the general knowledge. But that is not actually the point. What I want to say is that you have to master both of your competencies, language or general knowledge. Because whenever you have good competency in language, you can use modulation strategy, you can use literal translation strategy, you can use transposition strategy, expansion, reduction strategy, because you know the grammar. Okay? But, not but. And in addition, if you are good in your general knowledge, oh, and then you say, oh, let me use compensation. Let me use borrowing or something. Okay? Kevin, is that clear? So, that is the end of the discussion, but we come to the summary. Yeah? The summary is, how good are you as a translator? Do you think that you are a good translator? Yeah. That means, how are your competencies? Yeah. How are your competencies? I want everybody to read the following questions. Yeah. Okay. I give you 6 questions. I want you to answer by yes or no. Only yes or no, okay? In your paper. Yeah. And then I will ask you abruptly one by one, or maybe not everybody. I repeat again. I give you 6 questions. I want you, except question number 1, yeah. I want you to answer by yes or no, except number 1, yeah. Question number 1. Are you ready? This is not a test. This is not a test, but this is only a discussion. Okay. How good are you as a translator? Question yourself. Number 1. How good is my grammar? You answer, not good, good, very good. You choose. That is number 1. Okay? How good is your grammar? Good, not good, good, very good. Okay. Yeah. Hey, Arshad, answer, please. Clear? That's number 1. Now number 2. Am I good in expressing ideas in written form? Am I good in expressing ideas in written form? It means that when you write, is your writing clear? When you write, is your writing is easy for people to understand? Yeah. You can ask your friend, when you finish writing and then your friends say, "Oh, your writing is clear. I understand easily." Yeah, something like that. Yeah, no. The answer is yes or no. Yeah, for number 2. Yeah, only yes or no. Okay. Yeah. Now number 3. Do I understand the context of the source? Oh, SC, yeah. SL, source text, ST. Do I understand the context of the ST well? What I mean is that whenever you read the text, do you always understand? Do you always understand or you don't understand? So the answer is yes or no. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Always. Yeah. Always. Yeah. Do I always? Yeah. Always. Yeah. Always. Always. Aduh, susah banget. Do I always understand? Yes or no? Okay. Number 4. Number 4. Do I use appropriate vocabulary? Do I use appropriate vocabulary? Yeah, it means that always use appropriate vocabulary. Yes or no? Yeah. Number 5. Do I use proper steps in translating? Do I use proper steps in translating? Proper steps. Yeah. The one that we learned 2 weeks ago, or the one that I said. Yeah, let's say, do you always complete your steps? When you translate, do you complete your step? Do you always use a complete step? Do you always use complete step? The last one. Do I use proper strategy in translating? Do I use proper strategy in translating? Proper strategy. That means the best strategy. Do you always use the best strategy? Yes or no? Yes or no? Okay. I'm counting 1 to 10 and everybody stop writing. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, stop. Everybody, all those 6 questions represent the competencies. Yeah. Number 1, yeah. Number 2, they are related to language competencies. Number 3 and number 4, they are related to the general knowledge competencies. And then 5 and 6 are related to your theory of translation. Now, question number 1, who answered very good? Nobody. Who answered good? Okay, Ayla. You must be confident. Okay, you must be confident. So Ayla, are you ready to get a job from me? I will give you a salary. Okay, no. That is something like that. Because the most important is cuan. Okay, number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5. Yeah. Now my question: who gets 5 yes? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Who gets 5 yes? 5 yeses? No. Okay. 4 yeses. Ayla. 4 yeses. Okay. What numbers? Oh, except number 4. Oh, except number 4. Okay, we'll discuss about that later. Yeah. Thank you, Ayla. Don't worry. Let's say this is a game, but this is representing your confidence. Who gets 3 yeses? Arshad. Oh, Kevin. What number, Arshad? 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5. Okay. 3, 4, 5. So that means Arshad needs to improve his skill in writing. Yeah, you need to understand the concept of main idea. Okay. And then the number 6, you need to learn more about strategies. Okay. Kevin, what numbers are the yeses? 2, 3, and 5. You just look at your notes. Okay. Okay, I repeat again. You got 3 yeses, right? Oh, 4. 4 yeses. Oh, excellent. What numbers? Oh, that means you have problem with number 4. The same with Ayla. Okay. So my suggestion is Ayla and Kevin, you buy dictionary. Okay. You buy dictionaries. Yeah. Okay, good, Kevin. Thank you very much. 2 yeses. Melanie. Okay. What are they? Number 2 and number 3. Okay. So that means you need to improve your vocabulary. You need to understand more about steps. So that means you need to practice translating more and more. Okay. And then the last one is that you need to learn more about strategy. Okay. That's it, everybody. That is the idea of our discussion. Yeah. So this is a game only, but maybe that can inspire you how good you are in translating. Yeah. Okay. If you think that your grammar is not good, that means you need to study more about the grammar. Okay. And then studying the grammar is only focusing on tenses and part of speech. Only that. Okay. You don't need to study something else's. Okay. And then if you have no for number 2, no for number 3, blah, 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 blah. That means you need to improve your competencies in language, in general knowledge, and then in the theory of translation. And that is normal. Yeah. I don't blame that you are bad or something, because yeah, you are on the process of studying. Okay. And maybe nobody wants to be a translator. But remember, translator is the stone of becoming a interpreter. An interpreter is a very, very good job. Yeah, you can join with your boss. If your boss is a president, you can go anywhere to the world. Just like a friend of Pak Anies, yeah, Pak Anies told me the story. Oh, not told me, but he told in the one of his friend, yeah, was a very introvert person. You know, introvert doesn't connect with people, but he becomes the interpreter of Gus Dur. And then when Gus Dur became a president, he went around the world and then he joined. That's what a lucky guy. Okay, so that's it. Any question before we close the session? No? So, thank you very much for today. Yeah, I hope everybody learned something about the competencies. The most important thing is that whether or not you want to improve your competencies or not. Yeah. I'm going to give you assignment later on the WhatsApp group. Yeah. Thank you very much. If you don't have any question, I close. Any question? Okay. Thank you very much. I'm going to check your attendance